Yeah, that guy definitely knows way more about tequila apparently than I do.
Yeah, or hasn't learned enough yet.
True, yeah.
To stop drinking it straight.
Yeah. Welcome back to Short Pour, where we are still in our season of the holiday spirits. We're your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon.
And this episode, we've got something radically different than what we've been doing so far. We have Herradura Silver Tequila today. Okay, so tequila used to be my go-to drink. I used to love tequila Sprites in college. I loved them so much. Yep. I drank so many tequila Sprites. And then during my bachelor party, one of my friends was like, hey, I heard of this new recipe or whatever. And it's like mixing like a tequila Sprite or something, but with like a beer, like Corona. And
yes. Oh my God. I remember that.
And so obviously the first night we got really drunk. And then
yes, we did.
He got really excited to show me this new drink that he had found, this new mixture. And he was like, well, we don't have like 3 of the things that I need, but I'm just going to do like my best like approximation of it. So what he did was he essentially just poured tequila straight into a Corona with a little bit of like with a lime wedge in it. And I drank that. And that was the biggest piece of dog shit I have ever drank. And it made me want to throw up like immediately.
Yep.
But I did I was drunk, so I was like, whatever. Like I'll muster through it. Like I can get. So I finished it. I drank it, and it was disgusting. It was awful. And then I felt so terrible the whole rest of like the next day. And ever since then, I have not gone back to tequila. Like anytime I try to drink it, it like reminds me of that.
Yes.
Just tequila in a Corona. It was so bad.
Yeah, I remember. I wish I had reined you in a little more that first night, because when we went to Topgolf the next day, literally no one got a drink the entire time we were there.
I know.
Because we were all just like, I can't.
Oh my God, it was bad. I mean, it was a super fun first night.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, it was so bad. But today I'm a little more optimistic because the Herradura Blanco Silver Tequila claims to be unaged for pure flavor. Herradura Directo de Amblique forgoes the barrel aging process to preserve the true tequila flavor. Bottled straight from the still gives the liquid a crystal clear color and a 110 proof rating. The end result is a smooth and complex tequila with a lasting, subtly sweet aftertaste with notes of agave, green pepper, citrus, and a hint of herbs and spices.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never thought about herbs and spices in the tequila.
Yeah, I never would have thought about that either. It is interesting because this little thing says it's 110 proof, but the bottle says it's 40% ABV and it's 80 proof. So I don't know what to believe.
Just average it out. Just make it like 95.
Yeah. So I'm also doing something just a little bit different this time. So you're doing a tequila Sprite, right?
Yes, I want to make it very clear. There was no chance that I was just going to sip straight tequila on this one.
Yeah,
so,
me either.
Yeah, it is mixed with Sprite, and I have no qualms about that.
Okay, so I am still I was like, I don't know. Like, it's bad. It's been really bad. Every time I've tried tequila since my bachelor party, it's been like not good. Like I haven't really drank. Like I'll drink like a sip and I'm like, no. Yeah. So this time I'm trying something a little bit different. I am trying what they call a Mexican mule.
Oh, nice. Yes.
I've had that.
That's good.
Yeah, so I've got like the copper cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tequila. It is lime juice, and I had a ginger beer on hand. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a Mexican mule.
Yeah, nice. All right. Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah. So I'm ready to be heard again.
All right, let's do it.
Try it. Oh yeah. I drowned out any of those bad memories. That's good.
Yeah, mine tastes good.
Good. Okay.
I got a good ratio.
Yeah, I did too. Because I tasted just a little bit, but not enough to where I'm like, not too much. So
yes.
So it is actually, we're doing it correctly because I actually wasn't sure what the difference was until today between silver and gold tequila. Do you know what the difference is?
No, I don't really know anything between the two, but I do remember when we were in California that one time. I forget his name. Was it George?
Yeah.
He told us because he was like into like just sipping tequila, like that was his like drink.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he told me he's like, if you're ever gonna just sip a tequila, get a gold. Do not do silver for that. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
he's correct. So the difference is that what it's supposed to be is that silver, like they said on their bottle, is unaged and it is the pure tequila flavor, right?
Yes. Okay.
So it's really punchy. It's really like crisp.
Yeah.
So that is like what usually people will use for mixed drinks because of that it's not aged and stuff like that. It's usually cheaper.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's usually something that people use in mixed drinks because you can still taste it in there and it's really crisp and it goes well with like being cold and stuff. And the gold, if it's done correctly, it's aged in essentially like an oak barrel or whiskey barrel, like something where another alcohol has been aged in it also. When they empty it, they can age tequila in it and then it gets that kind of gold hue from that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But because of the age, it gets a lot smoother, which is why if you're going, he was right. If you're going to be sipping a tequila, you want to go with the gold because it is smoother and it has a little bit more of a like toned down flavor
Yes.
to sip on. But also generally, I'm pretty sure any of the golds that you and I have had, cheaper golds are the exact same thing as silver. They just put in like caramel coloring.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But he was right. Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay.
I actually wasn't sure on that, right? So like I looked it up and that brought me to my topic of the day.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at silver, the precious metal.
Oh, nice. All right.
So silver is considered a precious metal of the earth. It has an atomic number of
34?
no,
I don't know. I don't remember.
of an atomic number of course of 47.
What? Why is that of course?
I because you got it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. And a symbol of
AG.
AG, right? It is generally mined, although it can be found in like its pure form. That is very rare for to be found. It usually has to be extracted through mining, or you can also get it as a byproduct by working with a lot of other metals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I didn't like know or think about.
Wait, so it is but it's possible to just be like walking through the woods and like stumble on silver?
It is possible. Highly, highly unlikely now.
Yeah, just
but
not
yeah,
likely.
In theory, yeah, it is possible to find silver in its pure form. It is.
Dude, I know for a fact if I did that, I'd be like, it's probably just aluminum. Just leave it there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know. Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
true. So, because of that, I did not know this, but silver was actually the first metal to be used as currency.
Oh, yeah.
And it was around the year 3100 BC in Mesopotamia.
Oh, nice. Code of Hammurabi.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That's the first time that people started using an object for value rather than just a straight bartering system. And it was silver.
That's kind of cool.
It was the preferred currency because it has a relatively low structural strength compared to a lot of other metals.
Yeah.
But it looked nice, and so that made it perfect for like ornamental use and like decoration and as money, because essentially they were like, well, we don't want to like make shit out of this because it breaks,
Yeah.
but people like looking at it. So they used the other metals that were like, I don't want to say more valuable, but like, more useful.
Yeah.
They used those for the uses, and they used silver as like the currency because it was nice and decorative.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this put the world on the silver standard. How long do you think that the silver standard lasted until the gold standard took over? Like what year? There was a year. There's a year that it shifted.
Gold took over?
Started in 3100 BC.
1600 AD.
Yeah, you're pretty close. Honestly, like all things considered, pretty close. It was the standard for the world economy until 1873.
Damn.
Yeah,
Post Civil
1873.
War.
Yeah, when the majority of the world switched to the gold standard, and that was only because the UK switched to gold first, and some other people did. But then finally, when Germany switched, that was like the tipping point in 1873, when like the majority of the world had started using the gold standard, and so then kind of everybody followed suit. And it really I always got confused. Like, how long do you think? How long do you think the gold standard lasted?
I mean, what beat it out? Platinum?
No. Yeah, do you know what beat it out?
I don't know.
It's the US dollar, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of like what metal like became more valuable.
Yeah, no, actually, so we switched. That was, yeah, it was around the, let me see, actually.
I'm gonna go like 1926.
Okay, so the US switched in like about the 1920s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although in terms of the world economy, it was, I guess it officially ended in 1971, but most of the world, I think, was on it by around the 40s. Was on the like the money, or it was on the paper money standard then.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that was another thing or whatever of like, it doesn't make sense for us to use a usable material to assign the value.
Right.
Because then like we're just like not, we're like wasting the use of that material. Right? It makes so much more sense to be on paper. Because like, you know, it's cheap.
Yes,
it itself is cheap. Like it itself is abundant.
Right, because I think like some of those old coins are like literally if you were just melt down the metal, it would be more valuable than what this coin says it's worth. You know, like yeah.
Exactly. But yeah. So like it really only lasted less than 100 years. But I feel like the gold standard is like, people talk about the gold standard all the time. But like the silver standard lasted thousands of years longer.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But the gold standard, you're like, but it isn't a synonymous thing with like the best of like, well, the gold standard of blah 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 is, you know, whatever's top of the line at the time. So we need to start going with whatever the paper standard is.
Right. Yeah. Okay, and actually now today, silver is used in a lot of different ways, and when we get back from a break, we're gonna go over how silver is used today.
Let's take a quick break.
I'm Shay.
And I'm Jody.
And together, we host the Rainy Day Rabbit Holes podcast, a deep dive into the misty mysteries of the Pacific Northwest.
From the untold stories of eccentric pioneers to the secrets buried deep in the moss-covered forests, we take you on a not-so-serious journey through the quirky tales and hidden stories of the region.
On our show, you can hear great content like
Dr. Dewey's teachings propelled Linda Hazard into a lifetime career of starving people for money under the auspices of healing.
I could do that.
Run a cult or
both.
And thoughtful insights like
I think he was abducted by a drunken lumberjack as usual.
Those drunken lumberjacks just abducting bears.
It was an epidemic.
From coffee pioneers Starbucks to feet on a beach and even Bigfoot, we have something for everyone.
So grab your latte and hit play. Listen, learn, and laugh with Rainy Day Rabbit Holes. See you down the rabbit hole.
So today, silver is used in like a ton of things, right? Because we're no longer on that standard. That means that we can use it for stuff other than just currency. So silver is used as a conductor in electronics.
Yeah.
It's used in manufacturing, in chemical equipment due to its low chemical reactions with other elements.
Yeah.
Apparently, it used to be used in developing like old photography. Like when you had to be in like that red room, you know, and like dip the photograph and stuff.
Oh, really? I thought it would be like a daguerreotype or something.
What is a daguerreotype?
It was like a form of a picture before we had like traditional photographs like we think of now.
Oh, interesting. Maybe that was what it is. They just explained it as in like an old photography for like developing them. Apparently, it's used in some food colorings.
Oh, really?
Apparently. It used to be used in large screens to reflect projectors better, which is why
Okay,
we
yeah.
still use the term the silver screen for movies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it used to be in there. Literally did used to have silver in it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of like you mentioned a little bit ago, it is used to show second place in competitions.
Yep.
So there is an explanation as to why it goes like gold is first, silver is second is silver, and third is bronze. The explanation is
Because the ages.
no, actually, it's
Oh,
simply
okay.
it is simply just it's in the rarity of them. Bronze is the most common of those three. Silver is the second rarest, and gold is the rarest of those three.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but also they also mentioned that like gold is takes the longest to decay, and it's like it lasts the longest.
Yeah.
So that's why it's also first. Silver is the second last to decay, and bronze will wear the fastest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they also say that's goes in that ranking. It is or used to be used in the medical field. Used to be used a lot more than it is today. I guess it used to be used in a lot of topical creams and shit.
Yeah, no, I think it still is, man.
Okay, I don't think it's recommended though anymore, right?
I know mom had some sort of like silver compound thing for like a cut or something she had.
Yeah, it used to be for cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also used to be used as like in like field dressing things and stuff like that. Because they thought that it possessed antimicrobial properties, which it does,
Yeah.
right? But modern medicine has found that like there are better ways than like putting silver on stuff. But because of that use, because they found that it had antimicrobial stuff and it used to be used in field dressings and things, that is how we have just accepted that silver kills monsters. Because they used to actually think that, because they were like,
that makes so much sense. Yeah.
when you stick it in them, it will purify the bad things out of them, so it will kill them. That's where that comes from.
That makes a lot of sense. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, like actually, like there is a little bit of science behind that, like, you know, supernatural fiction thing that we just like accept.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right, and there's obviously like a few sayings that I found that mention silver. So when you say finding the silver lining in something, that it's like obviously finding the good in a bad situation. Do you know what that comes from?
No, I don't.
I had. Do you know that that's not the full phrase?
No, but I am fascinated by like the idioms where like people don't know the whole. Like we only know like a small chunk, but the whole thing is like, oh wait, that changes this completely.
Yeah. So this is one where like, yeah, I had no idea there was more to it. Right? The full phrase is every cloud has a silver lining. And that comes from a poem, and that was written in reference to saying that like when the sun is shining on the backside of like the clouds or like a rain cloud or whatever, the edges of the cloud kind of glow to look like they're like silver, and that's what it comes from.
Okay.
Of just knowing like, hey, there's something blocking you right now, but you know that behind there is the sun. So finding the silver lining in something is saying like, oh, hey, I know right beyond this, it's going to get better.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be brighter. It's going to be, you know, the sun and nice and happy. So that's where that comes from.
That at least keeps the same meaning. I was thinking of, you know, the whole like jack of all trades, but master of none.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ouch. Like you made it like jack of all trades, like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm kind of good at everything. And it's really like, no, you're just okay at everything. You're not actually good at any of them. I'm like,
Right, yeah.
geez.
So if you add the last one on there, it is saying like, yeah, but you're not good at any of
Yeah. Jesus.
Rather than if you just said the first part, you'd be like, oh, cool, you can do a lot of things, but not well.
Yes. Yeah, but you don't do any of them well.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey man, I feel like that's me, honestly, though, to a T, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like I'm there too.
Okay, so the next one I found was calling somebody silver-tongued.
Oh.
Means that they are persuasive and witty.
They're good. Yeah, they're good at talking.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That one comes from essentially like a dead use of the word. In the 16th century, there used to be another definition of the word silver as melodious or pleasantly resonant. So it made a lot more sense back then for somebody to say silver-tongued, because it meant like literally oh, like it's pleasing to hear them talk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And their voice is melodious or pleasant. Yeah. So that's where that comes from, though. Is like now it's kind of shifted to be like that the words that they say are like you're hearing what you want to hear. Where I think as before it comes from like it literally like sounded good.
With a pleasant voice, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be like something we'd call like a golden voice now.
Oh, a golden voice.
Yeah, like someone can have like a golden voice of like, oh, this sounds like beautiful. This sounds, it's like very pleasant to listen to.
Is that a thing that people say?
I thought so, but now you're making me question it. Yeah, someone that sings really well.
Oh, golden voice. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean when you say it. I just don't know if I've heard anybody say that.
And silver tongued usually means someone that's good at talking,
Mhm.
which is second place to singing. It's not as good.
Oh my God. Second place to singing. Jesus.
One other phrase that I remember hearing when I was in like first grade, we were singing this song and it said something like, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. And I remember our teacher asked us, like, what do you think that means? And so I raised my hand and I said, it means that like some of your friends are better than other friends. And she goes, no, it means that they're both valuable. And I remember like arguing with her and I was like, but gold is more valuable than silver. Like,
yeah.
You're telling me one is gold and one is silver. One means more, and I assume it's the old friends. And I remember like having like this back and forth, and I wish I could like watch it now. Of just like I don't remember how old my teacher was, but some woman like arguing with this like 6-year-old kid. I'm like, no, stupid. This is what it means.
Could you imagine if that 6-year-old kid was like, well, hey, you probably you remember whenever we were still on the silver standard.
Right, yeah. But I kept trying to argue with her. I'm like, no, but gold is more valuable. Like, how are they the same? And she, the whole like, well, they're both precious metals. I was like, okay, well, I'll give you all my silver if you give me all your gold. How about that?
Well, one of them is definitely more precious. So,
yes. Anyway, I remember that's one of those weird memories that stands out to me, and I like get irrationally angry about. Like, but I'm pretty confident I was right.
Do you remember
I have
the
another one.
Name?
No, but I have another one from the same school during the same time.
Okay.
So we were going to school at a pretty like rough part
area.
of town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure like in first grade, we had people come in and talk to us about drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember they were asking us, like, we had this little like picture of like some logs and like lily pads and then some spots that were like in the water. And they were going to give us different items, and things that were bad we were supposed to put in the water and let them sink, and things that were good we were supposed to put on a log or a lily pad.
Okay.
So one of the items was medicine. And they said, what about like prescription drugs? And I said, oh, those are good. And they said, no, actually, these can be bad. And I again argued with them. I'm like, well, but they're supposed to be good. Like, if you're using them for bad, that's your problem. I don't know what to tell you. Right. And they're like, well, we're going to go ahead and put it in the water. And after that, I checked out. I was like, I'm not listening to anything you say.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. You know what? Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe I want to try meth after this.
Now, what else are you wrong about?
but also, being like, oh, okay, great. So now you're gonna like contaminate the water supply for the whole town with all these prescription drugs you're throwing into the water.
Yeah, they should have properly disposed of those.
I actually was pleasantly surprised with this Mexican mule. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, my tequila Sprite tastes great.
This might have to be. This could be the reemergence into tequila for me.
Hey, all right, I'll take it.
But I think I would have another one. I would like to have another Mexican mule, but I don't know that I could do another tequila Sprite just yet.
Okay, we'll work into it.
Right, yeah, work our way back up.
All right, so I did get one review. So it said, Herradura has always been a bottle that I've wanted to have in my liquor cabinet, but it was sure a letdown. A very boring sip with nothing going on with it. It does have an oily palate, which should Sorry, these are their words. Which should some hope, but that's about it. But it tasted very watery and no flavor. Even the finish fell off flat. This is definitely not a sipper, and I will have to force myself to use this in some cocktails.
What?
Two things.
What?
I have two things.
Yeah.
They said it's oily, but then they said it's watery. And I feel like those are two completely different things, right?
Literally, almost opposites. Yeah.
Yes. Of just like oil and water don't mix. Like you gotta pick one, man. And then I mean it's a silver, right? Like this isn't supposed to be a sipper, right?
It's not supposed to be a sipper.
Okay.
I'm more concerned that this guy sat down and is so versed with tequila that he drank this straight and thought, this is a little watered down.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a little watery for my taste. He drank it straight and described it as kind of watery. That is insane.
Yeah, and no flavor.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. How fried are this guy's taste buds?
Yeah, he says he'll have to be forced to mix it with some cocktails. Like, well, but I mean, I think the majority of people, unless you're doing a tequila shot, are planning on mixing it in, mostly a margarita.
Right, yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. That is nuts.
Yeah, hey, I mean, you got to respect it.
I guess. Yeah, that guy definitely knows way more about tequila, apparently, than I do.
Yeah, or hasn't learned enough yet.
True, yeah.
To stop drinking it straight.
Yeah. I say, just put put some tequila in a Corona straight, and I'm sure you'll be off the stuff in no time.
Yeah, that's the advice that this guy's missing.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. As always, if you want to like or subscribe, please follow us on Instagram at shortpourpodcast or send us a suggestion through email at shortpourpod@gmail.com.
And as always, whether you pour short
or pour long,
always finish.